Hi, welcome back to Sue B's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making sort of a complex dish, maybe a little more advanced. It is going to be a biryani with shrimp, and I'm using the spice turmeric, and that's what I'm featuring today. It is, there's many spices in this dish, but this is from a plant, and it's called curcuma longa. Okay, so also you might see sometimes there is a supplement of this that is called curcumin, not to be confused with cumin, because they're two different things. All right, so first what I'm going to do, I've done some of this ahead of time. I have some hot oil in the pan, and I'm going to put in a cinnamon stick, a bay leaf. Now these are these are cardamom pods. And you don't want to eat them, but you just want to get the flavor. This is some saffron. So I'm putting all that in. And I'm going to stir that around, because I want to get the essence of these things. And I'm going to leave them in when I put in the onions and so forth. Alright, so I'm going to turn that a little bit. Now you can see this is actually turmeric. It's the root. So I'm going to use this in something tomorrow, and I'm going to grate it into a drink. That's really great. And it's actually anti-inflammatory. It's really hot right now. All right. So I can smell these spices. All right, I'm going to put the onions in here next. Just some thinly sliced onions. Get them going. You want your pan to be pretty hot. Now, if anybody gets one of these cardamom pods, you just have to warn people that they're in there. Now, there's two in here, because they don't want, if they bite into it, they're kind of perfumey, and it doesn't really taste great when it's in your mouth like that. So I have two in there, and there's actually two in the rice that I've pre-cooked. I'm using brown basmati rice, and you cook it till it's almost done. You want to leave it a little bit underdone, because it's going to continue cooking in this recipe, and you don't want it to get all mushy. So in one of my other videos, there is a really easy way to microwave rice. So it's 20 minutes altogether, and it's super easy, so you can go on to Sue B's Kitchen on YouTube and you can look it up. Alright, so that's going pretty good. I'm going to turn that up a little. Now I have tomatoes, just chopped tomatoes. Alright, get that going. Get up on high. Because you have a lot of juice coming out of your tomatoes, and you want your juice to be evaporating while you're doing it. And they're going to cook down. It's going to be nice. Now this is cilantro, or sometimes it's called coriander leaves, but it's the same thing. Now you'll see coriander in a bottle. That's actually the coriander seed. So it's a little bit different. Alright, that's good. Smells great. I know you can't smell it, but now I'm going to put in some ginger and garlic. And cook that for a few minutes so the tomatoes get nice and mushy. So basically we're making the sauce for the biryani. Now this is my cooked rice, my cooked brown basmati rice. I'm going to put half of it in this big cast iron skillet. You can use another type of pan or something, but I just have this, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to put half of this in here. Now I've greased the pan already. I'm dropping it everywhere here. So I'm just gonna layer that in there. And I actually have a smaller one. I could have used it, but I think I kind of want to use this big one. And this is going to have shrimp and this sauce mix. So I just need to stir. So you can see the tomatoes are getting kind of mushy. Now I grease this with coconut oil. I like it. It's extra virgin coconut oil. Alright, then I'm going to put the other half on top when it's time. Now, they're getting nice and where they're supposed to be. So now I'm going to take my shrimp. Actually, no, you know what I'm going to do first? Is I'm going to put all my spices. Now you can see that bright yellow, like a dark yellow one, that's the turmeric. And actually here is a big bottle, turmeric powder. So I have all my other spices that are mixed up in here. And I want to get them so that they are toasted. That's why I'm putting them in the heat here. Because that's going to enhance the flavor. Now I have some shrimp that have been marinating here for a little bit, and I'm going to put them in. Now some of this is sort of my own version, so I changed the recipe a little bit. I usually end up doing that. Can't help myself. So we've got some shrimp and garlic and spices. I'm going to get this in there, and I don't want to cook it too long to be overcooked. I need to cook it, and then I need to put some yogurt in here to make the sauce. Now I kind of am adding a little American twist to this recipe. We'll see how it turns out. But one of the things that this recipe calls for is a bunch of fried onions where they're really fried and crispy. So I decided I'm going to use those French fried onions in a can. And I'm going to try to put them in here and see how it comes out. I thought that would be kind of interesting. So now here we are cooking the shrimp. We're going to cook it till it's almost done. And now here's my can of crispy onions, okay? So I'm going to just put them in here. I'm going to layer some in first. And then I'll put my shrimp and sauce. And then I'll put some more on top, I think. Alright, you can see the shrimp is already starting to turn color. Alright, now I have 1 cup of Greek yogurt, plain yogurt. Now the shrimp's almost cooked, so I'm going to put my yogurt in because I don't want to overcook them. Nothing worse than overcooked shrimp. Now shrimp is very low in fat, but it is very high in cholesterol, which sounds kind of strange. But cholesterol is more like a waxy substance. And so, ooh, this looks good. So we're making the sauce here, and we're going to let that kind of get together for a minute because we want it to, we want a little bit to evaporate, to thicken up. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to put all of this in here after the sauce has evaporated a little or thickened a little, and the rice is going to continue to cook a little from all the steam. So that, that's why we undercooked it a little bit, because then it's going to absorb some of those flavors, which is going to be fantastic. You can tell already. And it's going to be just the perfect thing. Not exactly a football thing. We're about to watch playoff football, but this is my kind of comfort food. Much better than a pizza, if you ask me, or chicken wings. All right, so that's going. That's going to thicken up in a minute. And I believe that is the last thing we have to do. We're just going to put it on here. Now they use coconut milk in one of these recipes too. And maybe it's not going to thicken up so much, but I do have, we'll find out, because then the rice is going to absorb some of it. So maybe I don't want it to thicken up so much. All right, so I think I'm gonna turn that off. Let's see. All right, now what they do actually here is after, let me make sure it's not too hot. Actually. After you put all the sauce in there, you actually cook it on the burner. Well, I actually cook it on a griddle. I forget what it's called. It's a different name. All right, now I'm going to put the rest of my rice on here. Now it says flatten it all out, so let's do that. And then we're going to seal it up. Alright, so let me just, actually the rice isn't too hot. I'm going to just break it up a little bit with my hands. That looks good. I find my hands to be the best tools. As long as they're clean, that is. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to put a few more onions. And then a little bit of cilantro I saved to put on there. Now, just hang on 1 second. And they're a little salty too, so we don't want to put too many on. Because there is a little bit of salt in the recipe. Alright, and then a little cilantro for the top. That looks good. Alright, now all I have to do is cover this with foil. Because we're trying to let the steam cook the rice a little bit more and get all those flavors together. So I'm going to put it back on the burner because that's what they said, the griddle. So I'm going to put it down on low for 20 minutes and then that's it. All right, thanks for coming back to Subi's Kitchen. See you next time. All right, here is the finished product. It looks really good. You can see the steam. All right, enjoy.